For a pyramid, we learn what cursive L means. Cursive L stands for slant height. I guess they decided to use a cursive L instead of an S, although some books actually do use S. In fact, what does your formula sheet use? Oh, your formula sheet uses an L. That's good. Okay, so the formula sheet uses an L. That's what we're going to do. So L stands for slant height. Slant height is where you take one of the triangles and you do the height of the triangle, and it's slanted. So it's called a slant height. Okay, if you need a drink, go grab one, come right back. Okay, lateral area is found by doing 1/2 the perimeter, P is perimeter again, times the slant height. So half perimeter times slant height. Okay? Then again, the base is whatever shape the base is of your thing you're doing, right? So then the surface area is found by taking the lateral area and adding how many bases this time? Just one base. We're just going to add in one base. Okay, let me give you some numbers. Yeah, the area of the base. So B is base area. Okay, good question. Okay, so I'm going to say that the slant height here is 13. We're going to make the slant height 13. Let's say it's inches. And I'm going to say that the bottom of our square is 5 inches by 5 inches. So it really is a square pyramid because it's 5 by 5. Okay, so let's start by doing the lateral area first. Lateral area is 1/2 the perimeter times the slant height. How do we find the perimeter of this square? Okay, ignore the 13 because the 13 is the slant height. It's not part of the perimeter. The perimeter is round here. If the perimeter is 20, why is it 20? 4 sides and each one of them is 5 inches. So perimeter is 20. Okay, I already gave you the slant height. What's the slant height? 13. Sometimes you actually have to find the slant height because they'll give you the height and you have to use Pythagorean Theorem to find it. Just warning you. There's a few problems you have to use Pythagorean Theorem on. So that makes it a little tricky. Okay, so let's multiply this out. Half of 20 is 10. What's 10 times 13? 130. So that's 130 square inches. Now let's find the surface area. So for the surface area, we take 130 that we just got, and we're going to add in the base of the square, or the shape of the square that's on the base. So how do you find the area of a square? So perimeter was 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. But now that we're doing area, we have to do 5 times 5, which is a little different. So 130 plus 25 will give us our total surface area. What will it be? 155 square inches for the surface area. And that one's done. Is it getting easier now that you kind of get in the hang of what's happening? Feels like it is with your responses to me, although I have very few of you responding. I wish I had more time so we could do some practice with the whiteboards, but I'm not sure that's going to happen. No, you're fine. Cones and spheres are so easy. So, here we go. Cone is 1/2 2 pi RL. The reason it's 1/2 2 pi RL is that it's half, just like the pyramid. Just like the pyramid, it's 1/2, and then just like the pyramid, it's perimeter, which is circumference, and then L. Well, what happens if you have a 1/2 and a 2 in the same formula? They cancel each other out. So it ends up just being pi times r times L. Okay, so that's the lateral area. And then the surface area is, you add a base of a circle base area to that, right? So pi RL plus 1 base, which would be pi r squared. because it's one circular base. Okay, let's give you some numbers to work with. Ooh, I'm going to make this one a little harder, just because it is easy, but we're going to make it harder. Okay, so we need radius and slant height to do this problem. Have they given us the slant height for this problem? No, what did they give us instead? They gave us the height instead. So can we find the slant height by using Pythagorean theorem? Yeah. So one side of the square is 8, so we square that. One side, the other side of our the triangle in there is 15, so we square that. This sounds very familiar. What does this sound familiar like? It's the same thing we just did in problem 1. So to find the slant height, I guess I should call that slant height L. So to find the slant height, it'll just be 17 because it's the square root of 289, which is 17, right? So a little extra work to find the slant height sometimes because you have to use Pythagorean theorem. Okay, now let's, instead of doing the lateral area, let's save time and just do the surface area. So surface area is just pi r L plus pi r squared. I'll just write it down again just for fun. Pi r L plus pi r squared. So pi is 3.14, we know that. What's r in this problem? R is the radius 8 of the circle. What's L in this problem? We just found it, so we better not have forgotten what it is. 17. Plus the one circle area, so pi times 8 squared. Okay, now I just need 8 times 17. Who are my calculators out there? Everyone should be trying it. 8 times 17. 8 times 17. 136. Okay, 136, and I didn't multiply pi, so I leave that on the side. And then what's 8 times 8? 64, and I didn't multiply the pi, so I leave that on the side. Add those together. I think it's 200. 200 pi if I leave the pi on the side, but can I get a decimal answer for that? Yeah, 200 times 3.1415926. 628 if you want to do a decimal like 0.3, and I forgot to give you a unit on this one. Let's call it feet. So it'll be square feet. Right? Okay, last one. Here we go. Oh, this is the easiest one. Remember, we left the easiest to last. Surface area of a sphere is 4 times the area of a circle. The surface area of a sphere is 4 times the area of the circle that's inside that sphere. That's it. So all you have to do is find the area of the circle that's inside the sphere and multiply it by 4. That's it. It's really cool. This formula can be proved using calculus. So I'm not going to show you. Okay? All right. So I'm going to make the radius, actually I'm going to make this tricky. Let's say the diameter is 20 miles. That's a big sphere. Let's say the diameter is 20 miles. Can we just use 20 then in the formula? No, we must use the radius, which is what? 10 miles. Okay. So what's 10 times 10? 100, and then 4 times that. 400. So 400 with the pi on the side, or you can multiply that out. You could multiply that out. 1,256 point. I wrote 0.6. Does it round up to 7? It might. Mine might be wrong. So square miles. There. We did it. We did all the notes. We didn't leave you time to do your homework, but it's a worksheet. You don't have to lug your book home, okay? And do you have to do both sides of the worksheet? Nope, just one side. Are there any problems that have little stars by them at all? Did I put stars by them? Okay, I don't remember if I did or not. You have to tell me. No? Okay, well, there's a few of the problems you have to use Pythagorean theorem on. Do you want me to tell you which ones? Yeah. Okay, problem number 3. You have to use Pythagorean theorem. Number 11, 10, 10, 11, and 12. Ugh. So you have 4 problems with Pythagorean theorem. 3, 10, 11, and 12 are all Pythagorean theorem problems. Alright, I would say start on it right now. You've got 3 minutes. Get started. Do one of the 15 problems. Do you need to do the volume side? Nope, don't need to do the volume side yet. Okay.
I didn't understand.